Shabbat Shalom. My name is Yadon YahSharal, and I'm with my brother YahNatan Yasharal. And the title of today's Shabbat sermon is Keeping the Commandments. Keeping the Commandments. And, we get a lot of different things, and we read a lot, and we learn a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, it all falls down to just keeping the commandments. And we keep the commandments in a certain way according to how we read, and we believe that we're doing the things that are necessary. But we have to understand and look at the way Yahshua kept the commandments, that he showed us that it wasn't just in the letter of the law, but it was also in the spirit of the law while walking in the letter of the law. So it expands out further than just doing exactly what you read. So we're going to get into that. We're going to look at keeping the commandments and the different situations around the commandments and get a good understanding from a Hebrew perspective. So we're going to open up in Proverbs, Mishlei, chapter 6. And we're going to start that at verse 1.
My son, if you be surety for your friend, if you have stricken your hand with a stranger, you are snared with the words of your mouth, you are taken with the words of your mouth. Do this now, my son, and deliver yourself. When you are come into the hand of your friend, go, humble yourself, and make sure your friend. Give not sleep to your eyes, nor slumber to your eyelids. Deliver yourself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of the fowler. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provides her meat in the summer, and gathers her food in the harvest. How long will you sleep, O sluggard? When will you arise out of your sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall your poverty come as one that traveleth, and your want as an armed man.
So that's all it takes. That's what we take with these commandments, with this opportunity that we have in this grace period, that, we're going to work on that tomorrow. I'm going to continue doing that sin or that transgression, but, I know that I need to keep these commandments, but I'm going to start tomorrow, and that tomorrow turns into next month, and the next month turns into you not doing anything at all, and then judgment. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 12. A naughty person, a wicked man, walks with a froward mouth. He winks with his eyes, he speaks with his feet, he teaches with his fingers. Frowardness is in his heart, he devises mischief continually, he sows discord. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly, suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. These 6 things does Yahweh hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaks lies, and he that sows discord among brethren.
So basically, these things that Yahweh hates are the things that causes his family not to have peace. He wants peace among his family, and if there's an individual that is coming with this spirit that is not of the truth and not of love, these are the things that Yahweh hates. Go ahead.
Bind them continually upon your heart, and tie them about your neck.
Oh, go back to verse 20.
Verse 20. My son, keep your father's commandment, and forsake not the law of your mother. Bind them continually upon your heart, and tie them about your neck. When you go, it shall lead you. When you sleep, it shall keep you. And when you awake, it shall talk with you. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
So, for the commandment is the lamp, and the law is light. So let's look at this commandment. The word for commandment in Hebrew was mitzvah. Mitzvah, which is H4687. Mitzvah, spelled M-I-T-S-V-A-H. Mitzvah. And it's from a command, whether human or divine, collectively, the law, which was commanded. Law, ordinance, precept. So a commandment is anything that the Most High utters out of his mouth, his word. And then now you have law, which is Torah. H8451. Torah, spelled Torah. And that's from H3384, a precept or statute, especially the Decalogue or Pentateuch. All right, so a precept or statute is the Torah. All right, go ahead, brother. Oh, and also we see here about keeping your father's commandment and your mother's, the law of your mother. Sure. Well, we know your father is Yahweh spiritually, and your mother is the assembly. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 24. To keep you from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman.
That's strange doctrine. That doctrine of fleshly desires that comes and says, you know what, you don't have to keep these commandments. You can do this. This is fun. Go ahead.
To keep you from the evil woman, from the flattery of the strange woman, flattery of the tongue of the strange woman. Lust not after her beauty in your heart, neither let her take you with her eyelids. For by means of a whorish woman a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? So he that goes in to his neighbor's wife, whosoever touches her shall not be innocent. Men do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. Whoso commits adultery with a woman lacks understanding, and he that does it destroys his own soul. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though you give many gifts.
So there's a reason these commandments, this Torah that he set before us was to have peace, so that we would have peace in his kingdom, and we would all get along, and we would love each other, and we'd know how to receive all the blessings, and we wouldn't limit Yahweh with the wicked deeds and transgressions that we were doing. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 1. You know, one of the first things that you learn as becoming an Israelite is, you know, that we got to keep these commandments. Keep the commandments, and, you know, we go to the basics. Okay, we don't eat pork. You know, we keep the Sabbath day. You know, we don't keep the holidays. You know, we don't use those names anymore that glorify pagan gods. And those are the basics, but it's so much deeper than that. Like, everything in this entire book is based upon the instructions given to man so that he can receive this blessing and this inheritance that's before us. But we walk in a way that is in a way that man looks at us to see that we're keeping the commandments. We don't work on those things that are inward inside of us, that are the things that are blocking us from getting these blessings that Yahweh has waiting right before our eyes. Go ahead, bro.
Paul, an apostle of Yahshua Mashiach, by the commandment of Elohim, our Savior, and Master Yahshua Mashiach, which is our hope. Unto Timothy, my own son in the faith, grace, mercy, and peace from Yahweh our Father and Yahshua Mashiach our Master. As I besought you to abide still at Ephesus, when I went into Macedonia, that you might charge some that they teach no other doctrine. Neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies which minister questions rather than righteous edification, which is in faith, so do.
So don't worry about all those, you know, this person is this bloodline and this, that, and this specific tribe and all that. Keep the commandments. If you know you from the children of Yasharal, keep the commandments. The angels will sort all that out. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Now, the end of the commandment is charity, out of a pure heart, and of a good conscience, faith of faith unfeigned,
love out of a pure heart, and of good conscience, and of faith unfeigned.
from which some, having swerved, have turned aside unto vain jangling, desiring to be teachers of the law, understanding neither what they say nor whereof they affirm. But we know that the law is good, if a man use it lawfully, knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man, but for the lawless and disobedient, for the wicked and for sinners, for unholy and profane, for murderers of fathers and murderers of mothers, for manslayers, for whoremongers, for them that defile themselves with mankind, for men stealers, for liars, for perjured persons, and if there be any other thing that is contrary to sound doctrine.
So this is what the law was for. The law was to prevent an individual that would do those type of things from killing himself. But at the end of the day, why would you want to prevent that person from doing that? That's what you got to get to the spirit of that law. Why do you not want to do that? What kind of spirit would you be doing to your brother? But if you didn't have that spiritual understanding, then you had to have these commandments: don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. When your spirit should tell you, no, I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me, so why would I do that to them? Go ahead.
According to the glorious good news of the blessed Elohim, which was committed to my trust. And I thank Mashiach Yahshua, our Master, who has enabled me for that he counted me faithful, putting me into the ministry, who was before a blasphemer and a persecutor and injurious, but I obtained mercy because I did it ignorantly in unbelief. And the grace of our Master was exceeding abundant with faith and love, which is in Mashiach Yahshua. This is a faithful saying and worthy of all acceptation, that Messiah Yahshua came into the world to save sinners, of whom I am chief. Howbeit for this cause I obtained mercy, that in me first Yahshua Mashiach might show forth all long-suffering, for a pattern to them which should hereafter believe on him to life everlasting.
So this is a pattern, and the pattern is that when you keep these commandments and you walk according to this law, the world is going to come against you, and there's going to be some suffering. So you have to show that long suffering and be merciful unto the individuals, the same way that the pattern that Yahshua showed to us. Go ahead.
Verse 17. Now unto the King eternal, immortal, invisible, the only wise Elohim, be honor and glory forever and ever. Amen. This charge I commit to you, son Timothy, according to the prophecies which went before on you, that you by them may war a good warfare, holding faith and a good conscience, which some having put away concerning faith have made shipwreck, of whom is Hymenaeus and Alexander, whom I have delivered unto Satan, that they may learn not to blaspheme.
All right, let's go to Romans chapter 8. So the law was created for sinners, which all men are sinners. So it was created for us because of the deeds of the flesh. But at the end of the day, if you are a man of the flesh, then you cannot be subjected to these laws. But if you're a spiritual man, that you're of a child of your Father, Yahweh, then you could be subject to these laws, and you can allow these laws to shape you and shape your thought process to a true repentance when you think differently about certain actions, and now you're keeping the spirit of the law. You don't need a commandment to tell you not to do certain things because you understand the spirit of the law.
There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Mashiach Yahshua, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For the law of the Spirit of life in Messiah Yahshua has made me free from the law of sin and death. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, Yahweh sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit.
So there was no necessity anymore to kill an animal as an offering to Yahweh because you were sorry for your sin, because it wasn't causing man to have a true repentance. So Yahshua came and got us past that point and said, no, you're going to have to truly understand what you did and understand why you did it and the commandment that you broke and how to repent from that, how to change from that, and how to be humble in your heart and have a contrite spirit. It couldn't just, okay, yeah, I messed up, yeah, here you go, and go on about your way, because it didn't change how you felt inside about it. Go ahead.
For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit.
So the person that's after the flesh is like, okay, I did something wrong. Here, let me grab something of the flesh. Here you go. A person of the Spirit is going to say, how do I right this wrong? My heart is grieved for the deed that I did. Go ahead.
For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against Elohim, for it is not subject to the law of Elohim, neither indeed can be.
It can't understand, well, why can't I do this? Why should I do that? I can do what I want to do. That's how the carnal mind thinks, because this is beneficial to the flesh. But the spiritual mind says, you know what? I understand why I shouldn't do this. I see, at first I was just keeping the commandments and said, don't do this and don't do that. But now I understand why I'm not doing this. Go ahead.
Verse 9. But you are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit. If so be that the Spirit of Elohim dwell in you. Now if any man have not the Spirit of Mashiach, he is none of his. And if Messiah be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Spirit is life because of righteousness. But if the Spirit of him that raised up Yahshua from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Mashiach from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his Spirit that dwells in you. Therefore, brethren, we are debtors, not to the flesh, to live after the flesh. For if you live after the flesh, you shall die. But if you, through the Spirit, do mortify the deeds of the body, you shall live.
In other words, if you allow that flesh to shut down and say, I'm not going to listen to the flesh. The flesh wants me to do this act, to do this act. But I'm going to follow this spiritual law. I'm going to trust these commandments that if I follow this, it's going to be well with me until I gain the understanding and understanding why I need to do this. This is why I do this, because it departs from evil. Go ahead.
Verse 14. For as many as are led by the Spirit of Elohim, they are the sons of Elohim. For you have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but you have received the Spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father.
So this is what makes you a son of Elohim. Those that are led by the Spirit of Elohim. And the Spirit of Elohim is his truth. It's Yasharal. It's his word. These commandments. Go ahead, bro.
The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of Elohim, and if children, then heirs, heirs of Yahweh and joint heirs of Mashiach. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together.
So you can't just say that you're a son of Elohim. The Spirit is going to bear witness to that. Another individual who's keeping these commandments, who's living this love, who's trying to shape himself according to his Father's image, it's going to bear witness with one another in their works, in their deeds, in the way that they treat other individuals, in the way they treat other individuals that don't understand Yahweh. All those things are going to be evident by the Spirit. Go ahead.
Verse 18, For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature waits for the manifestation of the sons of Elohim.
The earth waits on us. It waits. When am I going to be in righteousness? When can I have rest? When am I going to get my Sabbath? Go ahead.
For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who has subjected the same in hope. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of Elohim. For we know that the whole creation groans and travails in pain together until now.
It's talking about that new heaven and that new earth. Go ahead.
And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man sees, why does he yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. Likewise, the Spirit also helps our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit itself makes intercession for us with groanings and which cannot be uttered. And he that searches the hearts knows what is the mind of the Spirit, because he that makes intercession for the saints according to the will of Elohim. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love Elohim, to them who are called according to his purpose.
So at the end of the day, if you understand Yah's will is going to be done, then you just keep these commandments. And that will guide your walk, your step. It will allow you to go a certain direction. It will prevent you from going another direction. And you trust that it's all going to work according to his will.
Brother.
Go ahead, brother.
That 28 verse, that's one of the verses that you kind of like bastardize, I think about, because they never read the whole verse. They always stop at the point where those who love Elohim, you know?
Right.
Because everybody can, I guess, agree with that in these churches when you say, okay, Yahweh gonna work with you because you love it. Wait a minute. What about this next part of that? It says, to them who are the called according to his purpose. That means, are you working to Yahweh's purpose? Are you doing what Yahweh said do? Are you following these commandments? Are you following the commandments of the 7 holy days? Are you following love your brother? You know, I mean, if you're not following these things, how can you say Yahweh gonna work to take care of you? And because you say you love him.
Right.
No, you only love him for your personal purposes. You don't love him because Yahweh say love him because of these things. Now open yourself up, you know, and show that you really love him. You know, it's a selfish love that they're teaching people around this world, not Yahweh's agape love and open love, you know. So I wanted to bring that point out because that point right there, we read over these wonderful things that they continue to say in these churches, but they never say the truth. So I just wanted to bring that point out.
Right. They say things for vain purposes, for vanity. You know, a young player learn at a young age that everybody that tell you they love you don't necessarily mean they love you.
That's right.
So we understand that as human beings. You think Yahweh don't understand that? When you say, oh, yeah, I love the Lord. I love God. But you don't keep a damn commandment. You ain't took the time to learn his name or to learn the names that he don't want to be called.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Verse 29. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called. And whom he called, them he also justified. And whom he justified, them he also glorified. What shall we say? What shall we then say to these things? If Elohim be for us, who can be against us? He that spared not his own Son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? Who shall lay anything to the charge of Yahweh's elect? It is Elohim that justifies. Who is he that condemns? It is Mashiach that died, yea, rather that is risen again, who is even at the right hand of Elohim, who also makes intercession for us. Who shall separate us from the love of Mashiach? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? As it is written, for your sake we are killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter.
So who is it that he condemns? And who is it that is making intercession for us? So the Mashiach sits in that spot right on the right hand of the Father to speak up for us, because we're not going to be able to do all these things perfectly. There's so many commandments that we don't even fully understand yet, that we think that we're doing correctly, but we may not be doing correctly. But when he returns, all those things that are incomplete will be fulfilled. But we're going to need somebody to speak up for us and say, no, I knew his heart. Yeah, he did these deeds in the past, or yeah, he didn't do this correctly, but I knew his heart, and he worked with the best that he had, because Yahshua knew man's heart. But that's another reason why we are not to judge one another, because we don't understand the heart of a man. We think we understand our own heart, but we don't even fully understand our own heart, much less the heart of another man, so we can't judge. Go ahead, brother.
I wanted to bring out that point just now about who shall separate us from the love of Christ. You know, this is what the world is trying to do right now. They're trying to separate you from the love of the Mashiach, the truth. And they're going to do it with tribulation and stresses, you know, and persecution and famine and negatives and peril and sword. Because this is what the world is got themselves prepared to do to ones that love Yahweh and want to serve Yahweh. Because the people that run in this world, they understand a lot of what this Bible says. And they wish to come against it. And they know they have to destroy the children of Yahweh, the ones who worship Yahweh. That's prophecy, if they want to continue doing their evil. Because they really believe that if they destroy all the children of Yahweh, they will stop the prophecy. So they will rule this world. Understand? Underneath their God, Satan. So this is what they also talk about in Revelation. I can't remember exactly where it's at, but it also says that how the blood cries out because the ones who lost their head, got their head cut off, believing in Yahweh, that's underneath the throne. I mean, underneath the, I think it is underneath the
on the altar,
where their blood is crying out. They ask for how long?
Right.
And he tells them, I'll give you these white robes. You still have to wait because a lot of brothers and sisters of y'all have to lose their life the same way y'all.
Right.
You know, because, and this right here is what our people have to go through. This is what we, I say, not really want to look forward to. We all look forward to, and this is going to happen to us because we still have to join our brothers and sisters before the time to come where Yahweh will come back. You know, so this is prophecy right here that he's expressing. So we have to understand we are the children of Elohim, and there's things that we have to go through because his son went through them. He was the example of what the pain of what the rest of his children is going to have to follow, because the enemy who wants to try to destroy the Mashiach also wants to destroy his children in any way, shape, or form.
Go ahead, brother.
Verse 37. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Elohim, which is in Messiah Yahshua our Master.
All right, and that love is keeping these commandments. And once you understand that concept that, look, man, I got a second chance, I got an opportunity. If I can keep these commandments, Yahshua can speak up for me, and I can be raised from the dead, and I can be made incorruptible and be a inheritor of the throne. I could receive that. Once you understand that, how can you give that up? For what? For what possible thing could happen to you in your life that make you give that up, understanding that this is going to be the final thing in the end?
That God is something.
Right. And brother, you know, some people go overboard with one of these scriptures where it says there is therefore no condemnation for those in Yahshua Mashiach, those who are in Jesus, as they might say. And they feel like, oh, as long as you believe, you know, you're fine. But examine yourself.
Right.
Examine yourself. Are you really in Christ?
Right.
Because he said it. Not everyone who says to me, oh, master shall be saved. But he who does the will of my Father is in heaven. So if you're claiming, you know, you're in the Mashiach, and there's no condemnation that's going to come to you. Okay, do you follow his Father's commandments that he came to defend? He defended his Father's commandments every which way. He died for it.
Right.
And even those that even tried to oppress him for doing things on the Shabbat that weren't permissible. He said, no. Do you not know that I am the master of the Shabbat also? I can heal on my Sabbath day.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Doing good to the Sabbath, yeah.
We're going to get into that.
So you asked that, you just said something very powerful, brother. I mean, if the scripture says, right, that all come to me, master, you know, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, you understand? Get away from you, even do you work as iniquity, if I know you not. So if they have that statement in scripture, and he also had the statement in scripture about, you know, if the righteous can scarcely enter the kingdom of heaven, where would the ungodly be?
Right.
You know, the sinners and ungodly be. Where are they reading if they don't see those things? Because if they see those two main statements right there, they would say, well, I guess we are not saved always. You understand? Because they said once saved, always saved. That is the biggest lie from the pit of hell. Because those two statements blow those things out the water. So if those two statements blow out the water, why aren't you thinking deeper to understand what Yahweh spoke about? what his son came to expound on about how you get saved and how you stay saved with Yahweh, following his commandments.
Right. You know, brother, that's that mixed wine of the nations that have them drunk, and it might get you drunk sometimes too. You're like, okay, maybe I could skip out on the Shabbat today.
Right.
Maybe I am in Christ. We don't really have to keep the Sabbath. I know all the other 9 commandments are fine. Let me not blaspheme the name of God. Let me not have other gods before me. Let me do all these other things. But you see, this Shabbat, it might not. That's that intoxicating wine of the world.
That's right.
Because it's around us so much. This abandonment of Yah's Sabbath, this holy day where we're supposed to come together and talk about His word, just exalt Him, like away from the rest of the days where we're supposed to labor and toil with our hands. One day says, drop your burdens. Come to me. I've hallowed this day. My spirit is going to be disposed upon you guys this whole day. I will tabernacle with you on this day. But yet the world has us in this hypnosis, brother. It's a hypnosis where we cannot, and we feel oppressed speaking about it. But it should be put in the forefront. The Sabbath day is not a curse. It's not a bad word.
Right.
It's a holy, beautiful thing that deserves to be lifted up. Because it's Yah's holy day.
It's a blessing.
It's a blessing.
One of the main issues with the carnal and those of the spirit is, when you're hurting spiritually, the flesh don't feel that. The flesh is like, well, I'm hungry, I'm fed, I just did this deed, it feels good to the body, all these things are fine. But the spirit tell you, whoa, something ain't right, I feel bad. But if you don't have that spirit, you're not going to understand that. And you're just going to continue going and skip right over those things and not be concerned about your spirituality in the end, because you're just concerned about what's going on with your flesh right now. So they're not interested in all these things, and that's the majority of the world. And these pastors figured it out. This is how you get paid, because you ain't going to run out of market.
Brother, I'm glad you said that, because that statement you just said was very important. I believe Scripture also talk about exercise. We exercise our bodies, get our bodies strong, so we won't be falling apart. Understand, as we grow.
A little.
That's right. It profits at a certain level. Mm-hmm. Okay, but that's why we have to be in the Scriptures to exercise our spirit, because this is how you can determine where you've gone wrong. Because if you don't exercise the spirit, you lose your morality. You understand about right and wrong. You think that homosexuality is good.
Right.
You understand?
Persuade.
Yeah, because the president. He said, okay, I condone homosexuality. You understand? Let it be. Let them do what they want to do. You understand? So, but then everybody else gets swayed on this, or some people get swayed on this. No. Scriptures point blank say, don't do this. I mean, sin is sin, but that's a lifestyle that everything that they do is formulated in this. You understand? Mm-hmm. So, as you said, my brother, is they getting drunk on this wine in this world. You understand? This sensual wine, and it's taking you away from true common sense. Right. And you don't understand your common sense. How are you going to understand spiritual sense? You understand? I mean, this is if we have to practice that, we see how we're supposed to go. We're not perfect, but practicing this and trying to practice it perfectly, it changes us and makes us more sensitive to the things of the world, more sensitive things of the spirit.
Right.
Examine yourselves if you be in Yahshua Mashiach. Examine yourself. Are you in Him, or He's going to say,
"Get
away from me, I never knew you"?
It's a good argument. Very good argument.
Let's go to Proverbs chapter 7.
Does He know you? Are you keeping His Father's commandments?
I mean, that'd be the first thing the angel would ask. Yadon, he's at the door for you. Brother YahNatan, he's at the door. He's looking for you. Brother Mikael, he's at the door looking. The angel be like, who? I ain't heard of him. Who is this guy? No, he's from Lithonia. He does this. He does. Does he keep the commandments? That's the first question they ask. Does he keep the commandments?
Right.
No. He keeps the commandments. He does. He keeps the commandments. And those that he doesn't, Yahshua's speaking up for him. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, this is the gate you need to go through. This is the gate you need to go through. But what makes anybody think that you gonna not keep the commandments in spirit or truth, and you just gonna walk right in with all the commandment keepers, and it be peaceful?
I don't know, man.
What fantasy? What kind of
I don't
drug
know.
will make you believe
Can we
that?
entertain that for a little bit?
See, no, that's another class, really. You know, about does he know you?
Yeah.
See, that's the class right there. I'm glad you said, does the angel know you?
It's not about who you know.
Right.
It's about who knows you.
Who knows you? That's
And
right.
if we entertain that for a little bit, how you gonna look? How's the angel gonna look trying to vouch for you? They're like, oh, that's Yadon or that's YahNatan. Do they keep? You're in the throne. Like, do they keep the commandments? And the sanctuary just get quiet. Everyone's looking around like you just hear shuffling and bricks.
Their wings. The six cherubim with the six wings.
The total loud silence.
Like, oh my goodness.
And they trying to gainsay for you. Like, well,
He his
took care of
brother
his mom.
Yahshua died, and okay, so he died for him, so he could do what?
do more commandment breaking up here.
He broke these carrots, didn't he? Yeah, that's a good one.
Proverbs chapter 7. Let's start at verse 1.
My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with you. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of your eye.
It's just that simple. This is simple. This is a very simple class, but this is your whole life, your whole family's life. Everything is tied into these few little words that we read here. Keep my words, lay up my commandments with you. Keep my commandments and live. And we think we living now. This ain't living.
Brother, and with that, some people don't want to keep these commandments because their friends aren't doing it, because it's not popular.
Yeah, it ain't popular, bro.
And they find it hard to do.
Bro, the reason they find it hard to do is because when you are bringing the word of Yah, the truth, the clarity, His Holy Spirit, when you bring in that word to people and you speak it with a true tongue, all right, it hurts them. It, affects them in a way where they feel ashamed in a way. It's like, wait a minute, it's not you so much, but you they see. So you are the messenger who they blame. All right? And they come and trying to scratch you. Understand? But it's the word that, bites them. It's the word that pushes them and shoves them. It's the word that affects them, afflicts them, because they don't understand that. It's like light don't understand dark. When it smacks them, they think you smacked them. But it's the word that smacked them. So they don't want to be around you. Because I have many times people that say, is that all you want to speak about, the word?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got that?
Yeah, I just want to talk about life.
Yes.
I said, I want to talk about this, that, and
yes.
that. I said, but when you realize that no matter what comes out of your mouth, Yahweh's word is entwined in it.
Yeah.
You understand? No matter what, there is no other language you can speak that Yahweh does not touch. It's just you don't see it, and then you don't want to see it because it affects you. That's how powerful this word is. And once if they ever give in, there's many and all things you can speak on. But then you will get a light shine on that conversation. And you will get total clarity of what you're talking about. Even if you don't understand sometimes.
Right.
It'll bring you to a point. So these things you're talking about, about keep my words, lay up my commandments in you, is because it's going to bring out clarity in your conversation, in your heart. And it will illuminate those dark areas in your own personal heart till it make you wonder. Like, what am I thinking? What am I doing? It may not be at that specific time. It will come because you are supposed to be Yahweh's child. And if you are Yahweh's child, He's going to, like He said, this is scripture, He searched the hidden things in the heart.
Right.
Well, He makes us search our hidden things in our heart. It's just when we find out, when we say, I'm going to submit to Yahweh and I'm going to repent of those things because they hurt that much and I don't like them because they keep punching me in my head about what I'm doing and making me ashamed. Well, yeah, guess what? I believe now you are Yahweh's property. Because now you are concerned about the things that you say and things that you do and how you handle yourself. And sooner or later, Yah willing, we'll change and become that, that light walking upon His word, so others can see.
And it's the flatteries of the world that catch us.
Yes.
It's the flatteries. But the scriptures say, you know, Yahweh gonna cut off the flattering lips and the deceitful tongue.
That's right.
So when they come to you bringing this word and it doesn't have anything to bind you to it, it's a fornication.
Yes.
There's no binding, there's nothing that Yahweh asks you to do. You know, it's just Yahweh asks you to keep his commands. But the world is going to give you these flatteries. Just believe on Yahshua. Just do anything you want. But as long as you believe, you're forgiven and you're saved. That's a flattery. And that's a fornication right there, because Yahweh comes with a binding contract. He comes with a covenant. You will be mine and I will be for you if you do these this contract here. No flatteries, no deceitful tongue, no flattering lips to make you feel good. It's you examine yourself. Are you ready to be in this covenant with me?
So even Yeshua said, if you be my friend, you do as I say. You understand? So that's pretty deep, you know, because he's talking about not your moral life, but he's not only talking about your moral life, he's talking about your spiritual life, you know. And if anyone that can tell us that, if a man told you that, you will be upset. You know, who are you to tell me that? I gotta bow down to you. But if Yeshua says, if you be my friend, you do as I say, you understand? There ain't nobody else you're going to take that from much. You understand? But you take it from him because you know that he is the Son of the Most High and he's all holy. And he's only going to do for your betterment. You know? For now and forever. Nobody else can say that.
Right. You know, for him to say that to you, because he told you, these aren't my words. That's right. This is the Father's words. I'm just telling you what my Father said. I'm doing my job.
That's right.
He's a servant just like we are. He's showing us how to be the heirs to the throne, the sons, and be servants.
That's right.
But what good is a servant that doesn't serve? Can you imagine you in trouble and you go to a lawyer and you asking him questions about the law and he telling you about the basketball game? You know, he giving you everything else but law. You're like, but I need to know the law. I'm in trouble. This is serious. Tell me what how many years am I looking at? What's going on? And he can't give you that.
No.
You think that it's going to be well for him in his profession? If every time people come to him, this is what they get? Well, this is how we are viewed. And the angels watch us. They are watchers, messengers. And they say, okay, is my servant serving? Is he showing the world my image, which is this spirit? And if you're not, get away from me, you work of iniquity. I never knew you. Not I don't know you. I never knew you.
Heavy.
Brother, if you even look at Yahshua's life while he was here, he said, you know, the Gentiles lord themselves over you, but he who's greatest over you shall be your servant. So Yahshua, when he first came, he didn't come to lord over everyone, keep the Sabbath, and be like a counter Pharisee. Right.
That's right.
He came to show the glory of the law among men, that this is the beauty and the glory of it. If you adopt this in your life, you will see eternal life. You will see the glory of Yahweh. You will be ascended into the realms of higher places and taken into the kingdom, you know, things of that nature. So he came and humbled himself and did not lord himself over Yahweh's people. But he did make it known that there will be a time where I will subdue these nations with a rod of iron, and I'm coming with the flame of fire in my eyes for the abandonment of my Father's law, because he is zealous for his Father's law. It consumed him if you read Psalms.
Woe unto you.
And I think he said, well, if you don't trust the words, trust the things that I do, because my actions, then he already told you the words. But if you trust his actions, things he do, the words will come back into your mind. Damn, he said that. And look how he's following it. He's doing it.
He submitted himself.
So he's showing us a way. It's not only just telling us, but he's showing us a way by how he handles himself, conducts himself before his Father. So, praise God.
I can tell the spirit has been grieved by the abandonment of Yahweh's law since forever, because every time it's brought up, everyone's spirit is like pouring forth stuff concerning it. You know, it's necessary for our time, especially during a time when the time is ending and people need to get right with Yah.
Right. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 3. Bind them upon your fingers, write them upon the table of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding your kinswoman, that they may keep you from the strange woman, from the stranger with flatters with her words.
And a brother that got sisters understand this. You know, when you got a sister that is by you that will, no, I don't like that woman over there. No, I'm a woman, trust me, I know. She trying to use you. Or I don't like that woman over there. You know, sisters know those kind of things. And this is what it's trying to say. Use this understanding and use this wisdom as your kinswoman, as your family that sits by and said, no. That's not thus according to Yahweh. No. Don't listen to that woman. Don't listen to that strange doctrine. That didn't come out of here. That's telling you to do the opposite of what Abba said. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 6. For at the window of my house I looked through my casement and beheld among the simple ones. I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding, passing through the street near her corner. And he went the way to her house in the twilight of the evening, in the black and dark night. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of a harlot, subtle of heart. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lies in wait at every corner.
And what's out there at every corner? One of those whorehouses. One of those so-called churches.
That's right.
Every corner you go, you can't escape it. It's right there, and they're packed every Sunday. I've never seen an empty church on a Sunday. Ever. Go ahead.
Of law abandonment.
Right.
So she caught him and kissed him, and with an impudent face she said unto him, I have peace offerings with me. This day have I paid my vows. Therefore came I forth to meet you, diligently to seek your face, and I have found you.
And that's what the flesh is. Every corner you have something there to satisfy the lust of your flesh and push you away from these commandments. It's profitable to do so. Because people want to satisfy that flesh and they're not concerned with the spirit because you don't get that spiritual reward right away. You might have to wait a while to gain an understanding or wait a while for it to manifest physically, and you have to trust that it's going to come. But you can go to the store right now and go buy some pork or go buy some crabs and satisfy that flesh right away. Or you can go next door to your neighbor's house when your neighbor's husband go to work and go satisfy that flesh. Go ahead.
And brother, if do you see the level of seduction here where it says, I have my peace offerings with me. This day have I paid my vows. Therefore I came to meet you diligently to seek your face, so you could pay 10% to abandon these laws and be justified.
That's right.
Basically.
Because I'm doing my vows all for you.
Basically.
Don't you want to, this is like, this is very seductive, bro.
Oh
Like,
yeah, bro.
and it's like the wine that I was drunk off of kind of just shaking off, like, hold on. They are offering 10% to abandon these laws every Sunday. So you could be justified and still make it. You're not going in through the front door, are you? You're going to try to get through the window.
Ransom for
The
sin.
window.
Look, you're
Window.
I paid some money. I'm good. I did my animal sacrifice. I'm good. So you gonna stop what you're doing? No, I got some more animals back here I'm about to bring. No, I'm going to work next week. You can get 10% of that check.
That's right.
It's the same mind frame. So this is why Yahshua had to say, look, my people are dying in this, man. Look, I gotta come down here in the image of sinful flesh. So he could have just rose up from the dirt like, no. He got to come here by a woman and fight the same things that we have to fight and be in the image of sinful flesh, in the flesh, but walk according to the image in the spirit and show you that, yeah, just because I'm sinful flesh don't mean I got to walk according to sinful flesh.
That's right.
And brother, look at verse 13. She says she called him and kissed him with an impudent face. That's the one. That's the same one that says, "I does her sin, commits adultery, wipes her mouth." And
Wipes
says,
her mouth. I haven't done wrong.
A whore's forehead. Exactly.
Wow.
Ain't no morals in that, man.
All the churches do the same thing. Every one of them are justified.
That's right.
There's no, you cannot accuse them of any type of wrong. No wrongdoing
No,
whatsoever.
none. It's your fault.
Right. And
It's
we're
your
not
fault.
talking about
Seductive.
just a Catholic church or
No.
a Christian church or Islam church or any assembly, period. Whether you call yourself the Assembly of Yah or not, period. Wherever you go, man is man.
That's right.
Man is going to be man. And the flesh is going to do the flesh and the spirit and it's going to do what the spirit do and they're going to war.
That's right.
Always. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 16. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry and carved works with fine linen of Mitzrayim. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh aloes, and cinnamon.
Ooh.
Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves. For the good man is not at home. He is gone on a long journey.
You know, Yahweh is gone. Yahshua gone. He's been thousands of years, man. Look, just do what you want to do, man. Do as you will.
Right, bro.
You are God. You have the power to create what you want in your life. That's the secret. You can do what you want to do. So this is the same seducing spirit that the adversary did to Eve, the weaker vessel. But Yasharal, you are the stronger vessel. You are supposed to not listen to that and stop other weaker individuals from falling to that, which are the nations. That's what we were supposed to do, but we're not even doing that amongst ourselves. Go ahead, brother.
Like the wine wearing off.
Bruh, how they say that was that hard, cruel God back in the day. Now his son came and just producing love now. Love everything, love this. So how can this son of the Most High, who was that hard God back in the day, who destroyed you, killed you immediately when you profaned the Sabbath or when you broke his laws, right? And then his son came. That can't be, what the old guy is pushing these days. He sent his son. So his son ain't doing those type of things. Where in the scripture you see his son doing those things to the people around him? He's telling you, no, love your neighbor. You understand? So obviously, if he's teaching love your neighbor, he's not teaching smash you in the ground. This going to lake of fire, all these type of things. Surely he doesn't mean those things. But yet, he died for your sins to give you away. And if you don't receive it, it ain't for you. Not once saved, always saved. Right. You understand? You don't receive what he died for when he spoke to you about what his father stated, then you don't accept what his father stated. Right. So why should you receive, life in abundance? Right. It's like a fire for you.
Right. To make it most simple, his sheep hear his voice.
That's
so
right.
if you don't hear these commandments and it doesn't set something in your heart that you say, you know what, when I keep these commandments at the most basis level, it's well for me physically. That's the first level. Then it's, well, when I keep these commandments, it's well for other people. Then it's understanding, well, when I do this, I'm not doing this to my brother, or I'm showing love. I'm loving my neighbor the same way I would love myself. Now you understand the whole spirit of what the commandment is about. So now you can judge wisely and decide, how do I keep this commandment? Because we read earlier, the law is good if it's used lawfully. But how do you know how to use it lawfully if it's just keep this commandment? Well, why are you doing this? What kind of spirit of love, what truth are you executing in this? That's the next stage, that's the next level. And this is what Yahshua came. Okay, you had all these thousands of years walking in the letter of the law, and you're stumbling. It's become a stumbling block. Let's get down to it. Okay, you've been doing the same thing, wax on, wax off, all this time. All right, come on, let's go. Wax on, wax off. But now you're learning how to use this, how to put this into action.
And brother, you talking about commandment keeping, but it's hard to keep these commandments when you have so many harlot women or harlot forces teaching you and seducing you to feeling like it's not necessary anymore. Those are the agents of Satan. Those are the agents of the devil. They're trying to get us to abandon this covenant keeping of Yahweh. The adulterous woman is in our ears trying to turn us away from the foundational words of Yahweh that even his son came down to keep. You saw Yahshua keep it to the T. Holy days and all, he was doing it. Wearing himself out to tears, to blood, to crucifixion, to being killed. Stone throws away, he's praying anytime he can. This man was wearing himself out over this law, and yet we're going to have all this harlotry during our time telling us not to keep it and feeling justified in it. Because we think that the good man in the house is gone on a long journey. So we can commit all these. When he comes back, what will he find you doing when he comes back?
Right. That's another thing upon that point, brother, you just made. I mean, they say that we talk about, that when you give yourself unto Yahweh and you try to follow his true commandments, his true laws, and you look at the rest of the world who's not, They're not Yahweh's property. So Satan is not worried about them. It isn't really angels really pushing them so hard because they're so easily accepting whatever the demon want them to do. It's when you start studying this word, you know how to fight. That's how Yeshua fought the enemy when he went to be tested in the desert. He fought him by his Father's word.
Commandments, right?
You understand? And the problem is, if you don't know the Father's word, you don't have nothing in you to fight the enemy. So you give in easily. Because your flesh will like to give in. You understand? That looks good to sin for a season. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like that's gonna hurt me. It looks fun. So if you know these words, that's what helps you fight to determine what's the difference between good and evil, bad and good, and so forth. You know, what I should do, what I shouldn't do. As Paul was talking about, he has liberty to do those things, but he decides not to do those things because he's learned what the scripture stated and how he's supposed to conduct himself. So how many demons do you think, if they're not dealing with them harshly or hard, they don't have to work on? How many of them are dealing with the children who want to follow Yahweh's scripture? How many demons come at us left and right in all different type of guises to try and stop us and hinder us from following Yahweh's word so they can go to Yahweh and accuse us, as they say in scripture, accuse us that we're doing this. You see what your son's doing? He's supposed to be following, but he's doing this. Then your father's telling you, better get down there and tell him to change himself, repent right quick, because I got to deal with it. You understand? Because even though Satan is coming against us, he's still lying, but in a sense, but he's also telling the truth of what we're doing. We mess it up. So the Father gives us that mercy and say, tell my son, change, repent right quick, because I got to handle him, and I might not have to handle him so hard if he changed quickly. You know?
Basically had an adversary. He understands his covenant. He got a covenant with the Most
That's right.
High as well. It's lake of fire. Period. Done deal. That's the end of the road for him. That's the end of the book. So meanwhile, he's like, but look at him. He did too. Lake of fire. And this is Yahweh's children. So he's going to Yahweh. The way that he can hurt Yahweh the most to go at his children.
That's right.
And say, look at him. He's dead too. Look, he's coming with me. And him too. Look. So he's the great accuser.
That's right.
And brother, I'm not going to take it from the churches, the established, establishments. There's some very good preaching out there. There's some very sound, very appealing preaching out there. At the end of the day, though, if it's not helping you to be justified with Yah, if it's just making you feel good,
right.
It's a flattery.
It's a flattery.
Women can, the carnal example is women can talk to you, or a man can talk to a woman, say the most amazing stuff. Girl, you got some beautiful, she could be not very comely, but you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. You need to be with me. All these fine, sweet promises, but does that man inwardly love you in the heart? No.
Yeah,
can all those great preachings get you to submit to Yah's law? Depending on is that what the reason is for? Are they preaching all these great, big, lofty sermons to lead you to teaching his law? If not, it's just a flattery. It's vain. It's in vain.
That's right.
Right. Verse 20.
Verse 20, he has taken a bag of money with him and will come home at the day appointed. With her much fair speech, she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him.
Mm-hmm.
He goes after her straightway as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks. And that shows the two ways we could be corrected. Because if we're doing wrong, either he was
slaughtered,
or you will get corrected.
or a fool in correction.
You can be with many stripes or few stripes.
Right.
That's kind of scary, man, if you read that line again. With the flattery of her lips, she forced him.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you see people get away with that statement? You're supposed to be strong enough not to be able to deal with that. No, you did it on your own accord. She ain't forced you to do nothing. Yet they tell you in scripture, beware. Beware of that temptation.
Yeah.
Some temptation is incredibly hard. You understand? They got some temptation out there that'll twist a man's mind or twist a woman's mind where don't know what the heck they're doing.
Right.
That's where they get into that psychology business. You understand how the government and so forth and governments around there teach their people how to deal with another man's mind, or another person's mind,
right.
to manipulate them, a high level manipulation. Well, when you're dealing with the matters of the heart, and when you're dealing with lust, that's a heavy manipulation right there, Think about it, but yet, It's in Scripture, so people need to dwell on that and understand what they're really trying to say. Don't take it for granted, because power of the tongue is how you say, is deadly.
Mightier than the sword.
Yeah, mightier than certain things.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, if you allow your flesh to be the one making the decision all the time, you easy. The adversary, all he got to do is send something to appeal to your flesh, and he got you. So this is why we study and we work hard to learn how to make decisions according to the Spirit, so that we're not led astray. Because that's the narrow path. You cannot go wrong if your intentions is to keep the law. If that's your intentions in your heart, to keep the law, not just do it because you want to do it and you read it a certain way and it says I can do it that way. That's not the same as I'm trying to do what is right because I want to treat my brother, I want to love my brother like I love myself. And it's just that simple.
And brother, for those who may think that, oh, as soon as you get into the kingdom, everything that you did wrong is fine now. Every careless word we're going to be judged for, even down to the Levites that rebelled. If they even make it to the kingdom, they're not allowed to go into the temple. They're just going to be doorkeepers. Yeah, you made it into the kingdom, and Yahshua set up the tabernacle. But those ones that, some of the ones that did not, that rebelled, and even back during their time, would not be allowed to enter into the temple. Only serve as doorkeepers. So down to the law where those priests won't even be able to wear mixed fabrics. He's coming to bring back the law. He's establishing everything. Whoever don't show up for Feast of Tabernacles, they're not getting rain for their harvest.
That's right.
This man is gonna rule the nation with a iron rod, with an iron scepter.
That's right, bro.
You know, with lordship. He's not coming.
He's not sacrificing himself.
No.
He did it already.
Go ahead and finish that up, brother.
Verse 23, till a dart strike through his liver, as a bird hastes to the snare, and knows not that it is for his life. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O you children, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not your heart decline to her ways. Go not decline to her ways. Go down to her ways.
Right.
It's not a high path like God's law.
Right.
Let not your heart decline to her ways. Go not astray in her paths. For she has cast down many wounded. Yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to the grave, going down to the chambers of death.
Wow. Wow.
It's just that simple. You know, that seducing spirit, and this is why, you know, we read earlier, can you take fire in your bosom and not get burned? Like you say, certain things you got to stay away from. We are all fleshly men. Yahweh even said that, man, I'm not going to strive with him forever. He's but flesh.
That's right.
So if you understand that, you need to stay away from certain things. Because, yeah, you can only avoid so much temptation. So if you know, and you know that yourself, that's why you put yourself in that situation. So you can say, oh, you know, I tried, you know, I couldn't take it.
And brother, you know, I mean, as far as knowing to differentiate between right and wrong, and because, like you said, we are flesh, I try not to partake in certain things because we know that's what's required of us as you know, Yahweh entrusting us with his word is that we have to be able to differentiate between clean and unclean. Right. So, all right, boom, say that there's an artist out there that we really like. Like somebody might really like Lil Boosie or whatever, one of these worldly artists, you know. Right. But the thing is that if you keep on putting those things, feeding yourselves on certain things, you start making occasions for it in your heart. And you're not going to talk against it as hard as you should have. If your best friend is a murderer, all of a sudden you're going to be like, hey, look, man, you could kill one or two people. It's not that. Right. You know, you start making a case. You have to be able to say, all right, look.
You make allowances for it.
If you make allowances for it. If you're going to listen to this music, don't do it all the time. Once in a while, you should, whatever it may be. But you cannot let these seductive things, there's a lot of seducing spirits out there. It's a danger to you to where you're going to start making occasions for things and being partial and being biased toward a wicked thing. Yahweh is not going to let you slide with that. He's not going to allow, if he sees it in your heart that, hold on, all of a sudden my servant is making occasions for the flesh now. All of a sudden he's scared to say that this is, all of a sudden he's scared to say that this is whoredom. All of a sudden he don't want to say that this is wickedness. You're not standing up for him no more. If you're going to partake in certain things, at least be able to say, look, and confess, what this person said is wrong, or this what I'm about to do is wrong.
Yeah.
So be it. If you're gonna do it, don't cover it over and paint it like it's a right thing. If it's wrong, let it be known that if you're about to do it, let it be known what I'm doing is wrong and it's a bad judgment, and I'm not gonna lead anybody astray for my own sake.
Right. I'm not going to bring anybody else down with me.
Right.
Well, I'm glad you brought that point up, brother. Another point I want to add to my brother, what he talked about is when a brother really tries, you know, because of all these temptations and forth, and he keeps trying to fight against these temptations. You know, Yahweh does say, he does watch his children. He does say that he does have a door that he will open for you, so you allow you to escape from those temptations because you suffer enough dealing with it.